This is Matthew, he will be our driver for today. Matt is a passed-out driver for both diesel and steam locomotives at the Society.
The locomotive which he will be driving is a 5-inch gauge British Rail Class 47. The BR Class 47 locomotives were built by Brush Traction in Loughborough and British Rail Crew Works between 1962 and 1968. There were a total of 512 of the class built.
The Class 47 features a Sulzer 2,580 horsepower U12 engine. The locos are 19.4 meters long, 2.7 meters wide, 3.9 meters tall, and weigh 114 metric tons. They have a top speed of 95 miles per hour and have 60,000 pound-foot of tractive effort.
Now, let's start the day in the life of a diesel driver. But first,
of course, we can't go out on the main line without a cup of tea. So here's how to make one. Cue the music.
Now, Matt is filling out the running book. This gives the club a record of all the different drivers and locos which ran on different days.
He will state his name, Matthew Smith, and the locomotive he will be driving, the Class 47. Later, he will add the times that he was running.
now, Matthew will walk the track. This is a check which our members carry out before running any trains. It is a visual check to ensure that there are no obstructions on the line. Ensure warning systems are operating correctly, opening track sections are closed and locked into position, and that the track is in a safe running condition for the day ahead.
Matt is now checking the first opening track section. This one is usually kept closed during the week. He would ensure that all the locking pins are correctly locked in place and that the handles are not sticking out of the track side for a passenger coach to catch as it passes.
Next is the traverser for the old carriage shed. It must also be checked that it is locked in place and that the warning buzzer is functioning correctly.
The tunnel doors must be secured into place to ensure they do not close on an oncoming train. The light in the tunnel must also be switched off.
Matt will now close the second opening track section. This is usually left open during the week, so we must remember to close it before we start to run trains. He will move the two sections of track into place. Then lock them together to make sure that they do not open as a train passes over them.
His next task is to open up and test the ground frame signals for the steaming bays. He will check the operation of the signals by moving the lever to the on position, which should leave both of the signals on the red aspect. He will then reset the signal and lock the box until it is needed.
The access gate to the restaurant must be checked that it is closed and locked to ensure that no one tries to pass through the gate when there is a train approaching. This crossing is a staff-only crossing due to its hazardous positioning.
Matt will also have to check that all of the micro switches controlling the block system are functioning correctly. He will press the pad in the track and check that the signal has turned to the red aspect to indicate there is a train in the block following the signal.
Last but not least, he will check that the points are locked in the correct position according to the levers in the signal box. He will also check that the flaps are seated correctly in the slots and that the points are clear of debris so they are free to move when they are needed to do so by the signal box.
Before finally giving the right of way to the other trains, he must fill out a running day checklist sheet to tell all the other drivers that the track is in a fit state for running. Also, in the event of an accident due to an issue with the track, we can look back to see if anything was reported an issue with the track or if the track was reported as in a fit state for trains at the start of the running day. He will state his name, the date the inspection was carried out on, and any comments he has about the track.
To let the passengers know that the trains are running, Matt will hang the sign over the club logo board. This sign points to the gate, tells the passengers the trains are running, and gives the details of both our website and Facebook pages.
Next, he will set the large signal by the signal box to the green aspect to show the other drivers that the track has been checked, is fit for running, and that the passengers are now welcome to come and ride on the trains.
Before even touching the locomotive, Matthew must check his stock over that is attached behind the loco. First, he will check the drawbar between the locomotive and the driving truck is secure. Then he will check that the brake handle is free and not stiff to operate. He will then check between all the coaches to ensure that all the couplers are locked in position correctly and that they are adequately holding the coaches together.
Because the rear coach on this train uses a different coupling system, it is attached to the train using a chain and two locking pins. Matt will also check that there is a tailboard fitted to the rear of the train.
Matt will now check his loco to ensure there are no defects to the unit. He will check that the buffers are working correctly, the axle box keeper plates are secure, the bogie springs are secure, and that the battery charger cover flap is up. He will check both sides and both ends of the locomotive.
Due to these locos being the most used locomotives, both the Class 47 and Class 33 have to have preventative maintenance. The WDSME diesel group ensure that both of the locos are lubricated, cleaned, and are fit for running. During the summer months, some of the larger projects can be carried out, such as the fitting of new brushes to the Class 33's traction motors.
His next task is to carry out his traction checks. He will first ensure that the loco does not take power when the master controller is in the neutral position. He will then check that the locomotive takes power in both directions and check that the brake is functioning correctly.
Now, it's time for the driving. He would ensure that he is observing the track at all times and obey the signals to make sure that he is not too close to the train in front. Only one train is allowed in a section at once unless they have a ticket to allow them to follow another train through the section. The only section where two trains are allowed to be at the same time is the section where the platforms are. Enjoy the film of a few laps from Matthew's point of view. Another video is available on the WDSME YouTube channel, showing a lap of the track from the loco's point of view. Thank you for watching this video about a day in the life of a WDSME diesel driver. We hope you have enjoyed watching this video as much as we enjoy making videos for you. Just before we finish, here is a clip of Matt scanning through the driving manual for British Rail Class 20, 26, 31, 37, 45, 47, 50, and 56 diesel locomotives. We try to replicate as closely as possible the methods of driving the full-size logos on the models. On our next video, we will be following Tim around. Tim is one of our resident steam drivers at the WDSME. He will take us through the preparation, steaming up, running, and disposal of a steam locomotive. Even if it does get a bit hot for him sometimes.